Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod with Roby Peñacastro, CEO at Lead Cells. I had one of his co-founder about a year ago, David Villa, top guy. They're building from Mexico, but Roby's in SF right now in a Stanford accelerator. And from last time I saw the company, it's been growing. I think last time, yeah, you were at somewhere around like 1.5 ARR. Nowadays, you're like at 3.7 ARR, which is pretty significant growth in the time that I spoke to you guys. So, Robbie, I'm happy to have you on. What happened in the last year for you to 3x the company?
Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Yeah, it has been a nice trajectory, and we've been focusing on scaling, making the product better for our customers, and redefining our ICP to bring more value to the customers that really need a solution like lead sales. And yeah, we've been focusing on making growth, appearing in multiple sites, doing a lot of PR, and making sure our customers are speaking about lead sales, but it's always comes with a caveat. As you start growing, things break, and we're in that process, and thinking about how we can double again, because we have an objective to reach 4 million in ARR by this next month, and then by the end of the year we're reaching 8 million in ARR. So it's kind of that trajectory of hyper growth.
And how many hours of sleep nowadays?
8 hours, 8 hours of sleep. No, it's
Pretty
it's
good.
it's fairly like, yeah, that usually, like, it's about how you allocate your time, because I think a lot of people don't sleep, but not because they're working, but because they're watching Netflix or being just zombie in TikTok.
And yeah, I guess you were very different from other Mexican peers of you. Like why are you built that way? Like not a lot of people will move to San Francisco and will be as obsessed as you are with your startup. Like why are you built that way?
I don't know. Like, for me, it's not about the money. I believe, like, sometimes we see a lot of founders going into a lifestyle business type of way, but for me, it's about making something big, making something scalable, and also change the mindset of entrepreneurs all across Latam, but especially Mexico, to show them that it's possible, but you need to really dedicate yourself and commit, and that is why I'm currently in San Francisco, absorbing and going to every event, hackathons, to bring these ideas into our business. This is kind of what we're planning to do, and it's just seasonalities, like I've been here because on top I'm currently fundraising, for our Series A, but it was not the best timing, so there's a lot of shit going on around the economy, and with this current administration. So obviously it has been tough, even though we have really good numbers, but also the economy is contracting, and it's making the bets mainly inside the US, and we are a global company, so we have revenue all across 20 countries, but not so much in the US. No, right now we only have $150,000 of ARR in the US, which is something that current investors are looking at, and they're like, we would like to see more traction in the US because our mandate for our LPs is maybe more concentrated into companies that are building for the US economy, which is something that we are actually putting in the narrative. But that's kind of like the idea of why I came to the US, in order to penetrate this market, because I know the opportunities here, and it's going to start growing the adoption of conversational commerce through WhatsApp, through TikTok messages. It's something that is coming, and I think it's a good time, where everyone is just looking at Brazil as an opportunity for WhatsApp. I see that the next new market is going to be in the US.
Interesting. Yeah, and even my WhatsApp adoption, not sure if it's because I'm in Mexico, but even nowadays I use it for clients because yeah, that was like yeah, US uses WhatsApp way less than LATAM does for some reason, which is interesting by the way. WhatsApp, like such a simple app and the wide adoption acquired by Meta some time ago. But coming back to the tariffs, when you say contraction, do you mean like the full world's going to contraction or mostly Latam, mostly Mexico? How have the tariffs affected that?
For our business, not much. We're focusing on SMEs and not really in like global companies that are being impacted by these tariffs. But overall, no, we see that the decisions that are being made, no, the tariffs are going to start making economies go in house, go more uh, consuming nationally rather than internationally. So that will start making some shifts. No, um, but I think that in itself is going to create the opportunity for social commerce to grow, no, as more people will have to start selling by themselves and create their own small businesses, no, that creates that opportunity. And also there's this thing, no, and you just mentioned it, the idea that WhatsApp is not widely adopted in the US. But when you see the numbers and you see, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, he's gonna be here next week, and I'm gonna go see him. But um, this idea of not being big, uh, widespread adoption, it's actually fallacy, because you see the last earnings call, Mark mentioned that in the US there's already 100 million active users of WhatsApp in the US, whereas in Mexico is less than 100 million. So that gives you the perspective that US is a huge country, but it doesn't mean that it's not a big adoption. Right now, it's 20% of the population of the US are adopting this, and it's mainly Latinos and foreigners, no, people like you from Europe, no, or from Asia. They're using
Montreal.
WhatsApp. It's just a matter of time. Montreal, okay, yeah.
Tu parles français, ouais. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And what new features do you have in your app? Like, what have you been building lately that your customers rave about?
Right now, we're working a lot on automating and bringing the access to various things that you couldn't do before unless you had a system like lead sales to perform these automations. No, that is one big one. And another one that we're building and still in a discovery phase or a R&D phase is AI. No, how we can implement AI, but in a scalable way, because the big constraint into what it's AI and how you scale it is the unit economics behind that. No, if you're not building a solid base, which you can actually make it more efficient to consume tokens and do RAG models that can retrieve data in an easier way, it becomes unscalable and it becomes an elitist product. No, it becomes that, and we're seeing it right now. And the best analogy that I can put here for the audience is, think about Uber in the first days. No, in the first days we had free rides or like very cheap rides because there was a lot of hype and a lot of competition behind this space. No, and we, the users, we benefited from it. But now, coming out of that hype cycle, no, we see that Uber is now normal price, no, and I believe that is the same thing that is going to happen currently with AI, no, that we pay $20 for ChatGPT only because right now there's billions of funding behind that for us, the users, to have a cheap access to it, no, but eventually we will start seeing that in order to make this scalable, there needs to be economies of scale, and the prices much likely will go up, no, so that is kind of where we are approaching that, starting from vectorizing our database in order to consume better efficiently the tokens, no, but that is what is exciting for me, no, making sure that all the data that we have, we can process it, create AI agents, and also do AI reports from the data that you have within Litsos. That for me is the project that we're most excited about.
Right. And earlier I asked you a question on grit. I think I didn't got the full answer from you because you're quite the gritty guy. You were even like a mariachi at some point in Europe, and you co-founded a bunch of companies like non-tech, right? Like Barras Moviles and Cocteleria and Amorcita.fi. Like, yeah, tell us about like all of your background there and how that led you to lead sales and where you are today. And like 2 weeks ago, you were like sleeping on a mattress. You're like very much the gritty and going all in type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think of myself like someone who reinvents himself every time, no, and just when it's something that you like and it's something that you enjoy, it rarely feels like work, no. So I just go in and I've done everything, no, and something that I work a lot is just like working on my ego and not think like, oh, because I'm this and this, I should have everything. No, it's like, no, if there's an opportunity to stay here in an efficient way in San Francisco, no, you mentioned it is expensive, but if you find ways to make it less expensive because you're not investing as much in staying, no, it's something that it just comes natural to me. But I mean, I think it comes for me watching my parents both being entrepreneurs, no, and watching them suffer when they were raising me and my brothers, no. So for me, coming from that background and also doing a lot of very hard tasks, no, as you mentioned, I used to work at clubs, no. So for me, working from 8 p.m. until 5 6 in the morning, I think that is more difficult, no? Or when we were working with the mobile bar with my brother, we had to go for the weddings from maybe 2 p.m. in the afternoon before the wedding, and then you have to stay there until the wedding ends. And probably
Yeah.
you've seen in Oaxaca, those weddings end up very, very late. They maybe go up until 7 in the morning, no?
Yeah.
So for me, that is more difficult than what I'm doing here, you know. For me, this is joyful. I enjoy it, you know, rather than just kicking my ass with physical tasks. No, here I'm just working with my brain.
Right. Yeah, I picked up my wife this weekend at 1 or 2 a.m. She's a photographer, wedding photographer. So yeah, 2 days ago, just picked her up, and yeah, it's very hard work, picking up a heavy camera for like 7, 8, 10 hours sometimes. But yeah, I read some
Hmm.
Hernan Cortes shit on your Twitter, which is about burning the boats. I think a lot of people dislike Hernan because he slaughtered so many Aztecs or indigenous, but I think was really brave to yeah burn the boats and being outnumbered 10 to 1. Is that like your style of a founder, like it's just throwing yourself in SF with like no strings and just raising and just hoping you make it, like do you supplement that with like strategy and military tactics to actually get people to fund you? What's your plan there?
Well, yeah. Sometimes you just need to take the leap of faith, no? And I feel when you're committing to something and there's no coming back, well, you set yourself up to either you become resourceful and find a way, no, or at least make it worth it, no, because I stayed here with no real plan, no, but kind of the idea is like, okay, well, I'm gonna spend some extra money to stay here in San Francisco for extra 3 weeks. Might as well just make the best of it and just keep pushing, keep knocking doors. And if the things are not going as expected, no, then what is the best possible outcome I can take, no? And that is getting feedback on what we are missing. No, it's like what I'm starting to learn is like, yeah, we're good and we're growing across other countries, no, but we're not big in the US. Okay, so let's focus in how we can get that double digit growth in the US. So in the next 3 4 5 months we can come back to these VCs that said no in the beginning, and we can show them that we've proven them wrong with attraction, no. So kind of that is my approach whenever I take a decision and I commit, and just hope for the best, you know. It's like in the end, nothing is granted, and you just need to try your best. And in the end, uh, I will feel okay because I know that I've been pushing as hard as I can, no? And if I fail, good. I can start all over again. And if I fail again, it's just a matter of not quitting, because a lot of people just are scared of failing because what are people going to say? But I mean, like, nobody cares in the end.
Yeah, nobody cares. And I mean, if you gave it your all, you can sleep well at night. You gave it your all. You're very stoic about it. It's like, oh, I have this in my control. I did everything I could, right? So, and might as well not worry about anything in that case. What does it take for you to be the next Rappi, the next Latam unicorn? Like you seem you're raising full time right now. You're probably the sales guy. David is building the company, right? He's a COO. So yeah, what does it take for you to become the next big Latam unicorn?
Well, it takes an army, and that is why here when I'm in SF and they ask me, oh, how big is your company, no? And sometimes it's a measure of how much you're making, but now it has become also a kind of a brag symbol of like how less employees do you have, no? So when I'm saying like, oh, we're currently 75 people on lead sales, people are like, oh my god, why so many, and like, well, because you need the best people, and if you can have more talent density, no, and volume as well, it helps, no, it helps not being only three brains thinking about a problem, no. What if you have 75 people thinking about the same problem? So right now it's that army that we've been building, the lead sailors. And basically what we're working now is in the next stage, because we for a long time we've only been a conversational platform, a communications platform, whereas the big vision is to really become the de facto operating system for conversational commerce. And we're also building an infrastructure layer for payments, which is the reason next week I'm going to see Mark Zuckerberg here at Stripe Sessions, which is an event from one of our partners, because now we're working towards how we can enable commerce to happen through messages, right? And this is huge, and it's something that already happens in China with WeChat, but it's going to happen as well with WhatsApp and Stripe, which is one of our partners that enables payments via this conversation. So when you start adding that, that's where it really becomes a huge business, because we want to become that tool that anyone who thinks of doing a business, they can do it with lead sales, because through lead sales you can also make purchases with your customers, and then you can add credits for your customers, and then you can track everything, because we're going to connect it to your other systems of demand generation, and you have an all-in-one tool that allows you to not only automate your business but scale it efficiently. And then adding all of those integrations on top of it, that is where lead sales really becomes a $1 billion company, because nobody's actually tackling it in this way, no, in terms of a system that can integrate everything. You always see typical solutions that only go for a single use case, no, and big evidence of that, for example, if we see last week there was a huge acquisition from Latam. The guys from Ilos just got acquired by Active Campaign, no, but because Ilos was focusing mainly on the marketing automation via WhatsApp, but they never built a complete CRM engine to handle that. And this is the reason why Active Campaign bought them, no? And we see this, but our play is because we have a native integration with these systems, whereas Active Campaign, HubSpot, and Salesforce are proactively trying to keep email alive, no? But I believe that email is dying, and the next way of commerce is going to happen through text messages.
Interesting. I don't think email will die anytime soon, because like it takes so long for it to be replaced. Obviously, I'm biased as a cold email guy, but yeah, certainly it's losing slowly terrain, slowly but surely, to like instant technologies like a WhatsApp. And yeah, email is so funny, right? Like you need to write the perfect email in a corporate way. That's like how it goes nowadays. What are the AI features that you're building in? Because yeah, WhatsApp has its own like Meta AI that you can tag in there. What about yours? Like, what are you thinking of just wrapping a GPT that in your own solution?
So yeah, I mean those will help us also for the first onboarding, no? But then the real trick comes when you have AI that can interact across your system, no? So for us is connecting all those data points, not only for the context of the conversation, because with the context of the conversation, we can help sellers be more proactive and we offer them suggested replies. That's one. Then for example, I don't know if you use these tools like Read AI or Fireflies that can plug in into your meetings, no, and can take notes. Think of this the same, but for your chats, no, we can also do a summary of the conversation. So if you're talking with a customer and then you're sick and then you assign it to a different seller, you can have basically in a matter of minutes the full context of the conversation, no, instead of reading every single message, no, you only read a summary and you're good to go. That is also something that we are creating. And also in terms of reporting, that becomes very interesting because the way usually I build products is just combining really good ideas. So for me, a good idea is what the guys at Gong are being doing. No, I don't know if you know Gong, but it's an AI um, tool that can connect to your calls, and we're building that, but for chats. So we will be able to understand which of your sellers who are talking actively with your customers, what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong, no, in terms of taking that conversation into a sale. So those types of integrations with the AI is what we're actively developing, no, and also not being married to only one single LLM model, no, because now we have tools like AWS give us Bedrock, so then you can connect different models because you also need to do it efficiently. So with Bedrock, we can connect to Claude, we can connect to Llama, and now there's new models being built directly into AWS. So I think that is the key that will make us very efficient well when implementing AI.
Right. Yeah, I know Gong. Never was hooked to that company. I use Read.ai, and even that I'm using my own GPT builds to record conversation, feed the transcript in AI, and have the AI help me improve. And yeah, incredibly helpful, right? Because we all think we're super good at sales, but we actually suck. Last but not least, how can we create more unicorns in Mexico specifically? Do you think countries at the right place at the right time to skyrocket right now?
Sorry, it like
I think your
I didn't hear
co-founder's
anything
uploading
because of
the
the
big
connection.
PDF or big zip or something. Yeah, I was asking, how can we build more unicorns in Mexico? Are we at the right place at the right time right now? I think Robbie's been disabled or something. Let's see here. Let us wrap this up because we have another guest, people. So yeah, that's been Rob Peñacastro and Charles Cormier for another founder